Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you happen to be. Welcome to another edition of the Living World of Darkness Street Magic, the Mage venue. We'll go ahead and, having already set up the scene, one Sky and one Jericho has had a brief transmission of information. And Sky, well, he said he needed some help with a few things. And Jericho, being the kind hearted soul that he is, and not the jaded fuck that he actually is at the moment, decided to, make some allowances and said, okay, I can teach you a few things. Just meet me at this address. And there we will begin the scene with my dear Sky pulling up.
Sky has been getting a lot of harassing phone calls. His Facebook is no longer the place of calmness that it once was. Lots of random friend invites from people he's never even met, never even seen in his life. Lots of stalkerish messages on his Facebook wall of women trying to get his number, get his information, scandalous, lots of scary shit. A lot of middle-aged women coming up to him in grocery stores, asking is he really a dancer, what his workout regimen is. Strangest one yet. Do you have any old ballet shoes that I could hold indefinitely? Has opted to in a hoodie over his head, not making eye contact with anyone
Fair
as
enough.
he makes his way.
My dear Sky, who is more fugitive at the moment from his own fame being both a blessing but mostly a curse, finds his way towards the address of, well, it seems like an old herbal shop, or at least that's what the window dressing is all about. You go ahead and walk inside. There's a little bell that rings, ding, 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 ding. There's a, actually a young woman, blonde, sort of small, actually has an elaborate array of tattoos all along her arms for some goddamn reason. And she's just going to go ahead and smile at you and simply let this man who came in a hoodie do his own business.
Sky will walk in, take the hoodie off of his head and smile. Is Jericho around?
The young woman will go ahead and nod and say, yes, he is. Let me go ahead and escort you to him. What is your name again?
Sky.
Oh, okay. And the business of your meeting?
He's going to show me a few things. We're going to talk.
Very well. The short blonde young lady will go ahead and walk behind the counter, past a beaded curtain. There is a very, very short and terse conversation between a masculine voice and a female voice. And after a few seconds, a man unlike Jericho, blonde hair, much taller, much more broader shoulder than the man that you remember, goes ahead and looks at you and says, "Follow me."
Jericho?
Goes ahead and nods.
Huh. He follows you. You don't look the same.
My appearance changes based on my own needs of the day, my good sir. He sort of leads you up this well, I wouldn't call it spiral, but definitely staggering sets that take you left, 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 until you're on top of the rooftop, actually. On the rooftop, you see, well, you see a greenhouse. You see some potted plants, a few rows of tilled soil. And across the way, you actually see a baseball game that's about to get started. Apparently, the league Sharks and the Edwards Pythons are about to get on it. And Jericho goes ahead, and when you go ahead and actually cross the threshold to the roof, you go ahead and close the door. And if you look at the door, you notice that there's various runes on it. And Jericho's just going ahead and take a piece of chalk and finish one or two of these different runes with just straight lines of chalk. And yeah, places the chalk back in, dusts his hands off. All right, what can I do you for?
I know some things about magic, but I feel like the broader concept of it, I'm very much so questioning my limitations.
Mm-hmm. Questioning your limitations. Well, go ahead and sit down. Do you want some tea or some lemonade?
Later will be fine.
All right, fair enough. Let's go ahead and start with what you know. You've already described to me your awakening. How much education have you had since then?
None. I've been learning on the fly.
None. Learning on the fly. Okay.
Yes.
Serge scratches his head. So we're starting very baseline. Okay. Tell me if you've ever felt this particular phenomenon. Having a second self or having a higher consciousness. Or have you had a brief conversation with yourself and then just had an epiphany?
Quite often.
All right. Let me say this again. Have you ever had an epiphany that was purely physical? Absolutely, utterly, primally physical. There was no conscious or rational thought to it. It was just all there in the moment.
It happens all the time when I dance.
All right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Do you know the names of the traditions?
Know of the cult of ecstasy and something called an orphan. And then
Okay.
howled one. That's about it.
Okay. Okay. Here's what I ping you for. I ping you for an ecstatic. One of the cult of ecstasy. They're very much primal. They're very much associated with sensations. I think that if you experiment more with this exerting yourself with these sensations, you'll start to get further and further along your path. I can describe general concepts and ideas to you. I am not the one that is currently mentoring you. You're not my apprentice, but at least I'd be able to point you to a few of the generalizations that we currently have. Thank you, goddamn hermetics, you jackasses.
Oh yeah, I also heard of those guys. Nobody really likes them much.
They've done so much for us, and yet we dislike them for our own particular reasons. Okay. The ecstatics, the ecstatics. What do I know about the ecstatics? He goes ahead and starts to snap his fingers a little bit. Snap, 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 snap. Snap, 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 snap. Okay. Your enlightened self. Your enlightened self is the measure of your ability, of your own enlightenment.
Mm-hmm. Please. Jeez. Hello. Wow.
I do apologize.
It is fine.
What was the last thing you heard?
The last thing I heard was him talking about ecstatics.
Okay. What do I know about ecstatics? Ecstatics. The reason they're called ecstatics, the reason they're called the cult of ecstasy, is because they're primarily concerned with sensations. They're not concerned with rational thought. They're simply concerned with what are you in the moment. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. I do not know what the ecstatics call it, but my tradition calls it the Atma, the enlightened self, the higher soul.
Okay.
The Hermetics, they went ahead and classed it as an avatar, and well, they can go ahead and do that. And a lot of the other traditions have already adapted their terminology just simply because it's easier to trade information. Because the Hermetics, they did quite a lot to bring a lot of order to this fantastic thing we know as fucking magic, but we still hate them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why. Maybe it's because they've got order in their name. But in any case, what can you tell me about your Atma or your avatar?
That he shows up for tea every Thursday.
What? The
He shows up.
confused expression. He what?
We talk. He shows up. We have conversations.
So you literally your avatar literally walks in, consumes tea with you, and has a conversation.
Yes. He's very partial to Jasmine.
Okay then. Never miss tea time. Maybe if I went ahead and had tea with my avatar more often, we would like be on better terms. But in any case, what has your avatar taught you about your abilities?
He said that it was up to me to figure it out, and that you have a gift and you should probably stop being lazy. And now you're finally listening.
Could be that your avatar is much more involved in your ascension simply because it has a desire to push you, which is sometimes a boon and sometimes a curse. Having a pushy avatar really, really concentrates your ideas, but sort of, limits your freedom a little bit. All right. Since you're newly awakened, I'm going to guess that how many perceptions of your world do you have?
Quite a few.
All right. Describe them to me, and we can codify them.
All right. There's one that makes me see. It sort of looks like flowing energy, and they show up rather strongly. People that are kind of like us, they show up brightly.
Okay.
Sometimes when I concentrate hard enough, I can know when people are around, as in kind of feel them a bit. They're like energy.
Okay. How do you feel them? Do you feel their presence, or do you feel their emotions or their thoughts, or just their physical presence or their spiritual presence?
Their physical presence.
Okay.
Their their spiritual presence. I think that's what that is. And their emotional state sometimes if I concentrate enough. And I can also feel their, I believe it's called, it kind of scratches his head. If they have good things coming towards them a bit.
Jericho's interest goes ahead and peaks up when you say that. Really? You think you can see the weave of fate, do you?
I don't know. I just kind of know, I kind of feel when things are going to go well for someone without kind of thinking about it.
All right. What else?
And also the wonderful ability to always be on time for things, even if I don't want to. Like exactly on time.
Well, that does make
It's
sense
kind
for
of
the
annoying.
that does make sense for the aesthetics. Okay.
It's rather annoying.
Let's start with that, actually. Let's start with your core philosophy, how the aesthetics view time. Remember when I was describing to you how I saw the aesthetics as simply those that were in the moment, that didn't require rational thought, that were primarily physical being?
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really weird, but it turns out that when you don't really care about where you are and what you're doing, you can go ahead and start to send your perceptions forward and backward into the time sphere. It's it's very, very hard to describe. And I myself am not a practitioner of it. I've just simply had this described to me once or a few times. When you stop, actually, that's it. You have to stop. You have to stop every other sensation that's going on, or at least distract yourself enough to forget about the proper beat. Have the proper beat, but to simply go along with the beat, to
Mm-hmm.
have your perceptions fly away from the beat. Your body is there, your body is physically there, it's following the beat, but your mind doesn't have to be there. If you practice enough, if you practice your routine enough, your body will just go ahead and perform it. Muscle memory is a thing. You are in a static. There's no rational thought there. Your rational thought, your mind, your avatar, your atma, your enlightened being, it flies away from you, forwards and backwards if you left it.
Hmm. He scratches his head.
Am I making any kind of sense to you?
It's very, the way you explain it is very mathematical, but I guess I understand it on more of a muscle memory kind of thing. Like kind of when I have to keep time and
For you?
say what?
There's currently an open space for you. Jericho's just going to go ahead and gesture it. Show me.
All right. Okay. So I'll get up and you'll see that this guy will kind of adopt a full lotus position, and he will begin to take slow breaths until they become more even, more focused, and he will roll for his time sight. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
As he focuses on the particular chakra point, the one that is at that governs creativity. I believe that's the one.
I'm going to assume that you're taking your time with this.
Yes. He doesn't do
Nope.
it the first time.
Apparently, outside
Looks
there
like
is
he's
much too many distractions.
You see him kind of get like a little irritated. He starts wriggling his hands like, God damn it, I can do this.
You can have all the
He will
time in the
try one
world,
more
buddy.
time. I believe it goes up by 1 if you're trying to attempt it again.
Yes.
Okay. Got it that time.
Hmm? Okay, let me ask you this. How does your character Sky sense time?
Sky senses time as beats in a rhythm.
All right, beats in
Keeps
rhythm.
time and yep.
Okay, this is what you're currently
Keeps
getting.
track of it.
The world is beating very, very steadily. You've heard this beat once or twice before, particularly in your own performances. It is steady, but it is there, and it is pervasive. It is everywhere. It is inside you, it's inside Jericho, it's on this rooftop, and it's very much just this one beat. Boom, 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 boom. Always steady and always progressing. Always the same. Boom, boom, boom. Do you see your perceptions anywhere else?
All right. He'll look over towards the I guess the baseball field
Mm-hmm.
and kind of feel the vibrations of, I guess, the excitement, what's happening, and different feelings of elation as time seems to be flowing there. And he kind of looks over and shakes his head a bit. It's still a jarring experience for him.
You
You
go
can tell
ahead.
that he's definitely not used to it.
All right. You go ahead and cast your perception over there, trying to get their beat, their elation. And maybe subconsciously, you're trying to go ahead and get a few different spear effects at the same time. But that's okay. That's good. You go ahead and you see that the game started about 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes, 32 seconds ago. But you would
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and translate that into the song. Boom, 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 boom is getting to its crescendo, and the crescendo only happens
Mm-hmm.
like I would guess 1 or 2 routines after the first one has already began. Sound good?
Yep.
There you go.
Sky will say 32 beats, and he'll start 32 beats, 4 measures. Ah, sounds about right. As he looks back at you.
And what is that? Imagine I know
That's
nothing
how I
about
keep.
musicals.
That's how I keep time. That's how they taught me how to keep time back in the Y when they taught me how to dance. Keep time with the beat. I counted at 32 measures.
Is that how long the game has been?
Yep, 32.
All right. look at this picture that's about to come out. I've gone ahead and looked at this set of batters in this picture, and this picture has gone ahead and struck out once or twice those two batters, but this one right here seems like he's particularly determined to at least hit it. I'll give you some background information. The pitcher likes to throw curveballs, and more often than not, likes to strike people out, likes to psych people out, and force people to simply swing at the very, very wrong time. Now, the task I set for you is determine whether or not this new batter will get struck out. How do you do this?
Okay. He'll think for a second. And he will again close his eyes. And this time he will focus at the root of his spine and feel that resonating energy. And this time the feeling or how he's perceiving this particular effect is a warm sensation of heat, as a person who just received a really good workout and you're riding that endorphin high. And the stronger that feeling is, certain sky is of something.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Go ahead and make your roll then.
Yep, goes off this time.
All right. You go ahead and look at the batter, and basically you're trying to sense the probability of something happening. These are baseball statistics. Everybody fucking knows it. This particular batter, you're trying to get his probability of striking out that batter. It's like this. You have that wonderful high. You really, really, really do. You've been exercising all the different muscles in your body. You've been breathing in and out, have fantastic cardio. But just when you're about to end the session, all your muscles just go ahead and atrophy. In fact, that warm, pumped up feeling that you would get after a workout is now replaced by stinging pains, as if all your muscles are starting to give out, as if you've just pulled something very, very hard.
Sky will sit there and he will shiver a bit, like, ooh, that's not good. Nope. As he shakes his head, no.
And the batter goes ahead and swings. It's good, and it's hard, straight through the middle. And the batter goes ahead and makes contact. Woo! The baseball flies right over the pitcher's head. He's unable to react. The outfielder's now scrambling to try to grab it, but the ball flies well over the fence, and it's a goddamn home run. How did you do that?
I'll just look. Huh. Happened before. Huh. He'll just kind of chuckle a bit. Wasn't pleasant, but definitely felt it.
All right. What can you tell me about the emotions of the people currently on the field?
Going specific as he looks out.
Nothing specific. Actually, try to get their reactions to just what just happened.
I believe it's diff 4.
Diff 3, because you're taking your time, my good sir.
Okay, then he got it.
All right. How do you perceive auras?
Or time in flashes of colors, colors and flavors. And the current color he is getting is excitement. So a red hot taste, it'll taste almost like cinnamon. Yep. Get excited. Tastes like cinnamon. More specifically, a red hot. As Guy looks and pops a big red in his mouth and begins to blow bubbles.
All the hate right now. All the hate.
It's okay.
Okay, so you extend out your perceptions. Your perceptions of auras includes a taste as well as bright flashes, right?
Yep.
All right. You go ahead and cast out your perception out to the field, and you notice that the well, it's a rouge. It's a very, very bright rouge. It's one of embarrassment, just absolute shock and fucking awe coming from the pitcher. And I have no idea what an embarrassed or humiliated taste would be, but that's sort of what you're getting right now.
Okay. Sky will know. It tastes kind of salty as he laughs.
Continue.
As he looks and says, "Yeah, red flash. The feeling is definitely extreme, and he's upset."
I can quite imagine. I can quite imagine. Okay, okay. Can you, from this distance, tell me how fit he is? As in, like, how strong is his arm, actually, just from this distance? Not with, up close and personal examinations or weighting him with weights and measurements and tape, but how fucking strong is he? How hard can he really swing that ball?
Let's see what happens as he looks. Doesn't get that time. Goes up by 1. You see Sky wrinkling his hands and a little anxious. He's gonna try a little harder. He's gonna spend a point of willpower. 2 successes.
All right, you definitely needed it. How do you perceive life or vital signs?
Vital signs come off as good. As a strong melody in a song that has hit the proper pitch, it comes off the stronger the melody, the more fit the person is, the more sour and offbeat the melody is, the less fit they are.
All right. This is what you're currently getting from the pitcher, and actually what you're getting from a few of the different crowds, actually, just for a simple comparison. The pitcher, is quite the melody. He's in fit condition. He's not a champion. He's not a professional. He doesn't go ahead and do the 24/7 type nonsense. He's not an Adonis, but he's definitely fit. He's got a few years under his belt of peak fitness, and that's what you're hearing. You're hearing this fantastically complicated melody that seems to fit quite well. However, from the crowd, one of them is a particularly fucking sour note. It's just like somebody went ahead and took a fucking tuba and just blew that one awful fucking note way too long.
Sky will look at the picture and say, he's relatively healthy. I mean, but oh god. As he points to the guy right there. One too many cheeseburgers. Not good.
There is an audible fart that can be heard from here. Several people are starting to scoot themselves away from him. All right, fair enough, fair enough. Let's start with something a little bit more esoteric. Let's start with the senses of the unnatural or supernatural. Don't look at the baseball field. There's nothing in the baseball field that should be paranormal, or at least I hope so. Actually, look at this. Jericho's gonna go ahead and gesture towards the threshold, the rooftop access that he went ahead and led you from. It has all those Ogmic runes on it, and he's saying, "What do you see here?"
What do I see?
All right. You see that each one of these runes glows. Not bright golden. No, it grows a little bit darker. Actually, there's a tint of green in them. You don't know whether or not it's because it's much more primal or perhaps a little bit more entropic. Actually, when you look at them, they do glow. They're very, very bright, but subconsciously anyways, you're starting to combine the few effects that you've already done, and you're starting to realize that that's not normal, or at least it's different. It's a flavor. This is what you're going to learn. It's a flavor of magic, a flavor of the primal energy. That's what you're seeing. You yourself, you look at yourself, you look down at yourself, you notice how you are bright and shiny, always fluid and whatnot, slightly blue. At least right now, you're slightly blue, slightly pale blue. This incantation, these runes, they are darker and slightly green.
All of the sensation, Sky will kind of rub his head. Ow. Aspirin. There's a lot happening here.
Jericho goes into his back pocket, shakes a bottle, goes ahead and hands it to you.
He takes an aspirin. Yeah, there's a it actually hurts to look at that. There's a lot going on over there.
Yep. Might as well close your vision right now.
Concentrates for a second. All right, that's better. Ow.
All right.
So I take it you've been at this for quite some time?
Mm-hmm. I've been at it, well, to say I've been at it longer than you, that seems quite obvious. I'm experienced. I've been around the block a few times, I know a few tricks, and I know that the best thing that you can possibly do when you first wake up is just to start looking around, start perceiving your environment and making your own observations. But it doesn't hurt to always have a few people around you that can, tell you, no, that's not what I see. I see something completely and totally different. It's when you combine the perceptions of all around you that you get an idea what the truth actually is. So you coming to
Oh,
me, that's one way of finding out a truth.
interesting. So I assume with more, I guess, realizations, I'll be able to do more.
Right now, you are perceiving the world around you. You are like a newborn babe that's starting to figure out and recognize its own mother. Right now, these perceptions, they're fleeting. They're one-offs. They're not permanent yet. They're not persistent, I should say. Once your perceptions can become persistent, like they carry over from one moment to the next, then you start to notice differences between one moment and the next. The very first level, where you're at, simple perceptions. The next level afterwards, manipulation. That's when the real magic happens. Some say that it's even further still where the real world where the real magic happens, but no. It's right here when you go ahead and have your second seeking. Do you know what a seeking is?
No idea.
Okay. What you experienced during that performance when you woke up, that was a seeking. It's a very, very subtle seeking, but definitely still a seeking. The seeking is where our avatar goes ahead and takes us where we are, or we go to our avatar, and we take a journey together to the next step. We call it a seeking simply because you are looking for something. You are looking for something bigger or higher than yourself. And since you're right at the cusp of perception, that's perfect for you because you will always be looking and always be seeking. Your second ascension, your second seeking will happen in a matter of, well, months if you go ahead and are persistent enough. It's all about being aware of your environment and asking questions.
Questions are nice. I find that I have more and more. Um, and oddly enough, I'm not turned off by it.
That is good. That means you have a curious mind that's willing to accept mysteries. Some people are not willing to accept mysteries in their life.
It's kind of the spice of life. If you're not willing to like question something, what's really the point?
Hmm. Can I ask you a few questions?
Hmm.
Right. I know that you have become fairly famous in your profession. Your career has gone ahead and jumped leaps and bounds. And I'm sorry to say this, but I do have a few questions about some of the new people that you're meeting. Do you
Okay,
mind if you do you mind if I ask you some questions?
go right ahead.
All right. And Jericho is actually going to go ahead and go through his pockets and take out looks like a scrap of a newspaper article. The title reads Gilmore Foundation Awards Sky Sachs. And he's going to go ahead and hand it over to you. The
Oh,
name Gilmore has come across some of my investigations, and I wanted to ask you who this person is.
he is an alumnus of Townsend Harris School for Performing Arts. I went there.
All right.
And his wife saw my performance and it was good. So she told him about it, and I was up for consideration for money.
All right, all right. It says you'll be the first recipient of the Lacey Gilmore Special Endowment. Can you tell me anything about this special endowment? Where the money comes from? Will it be going to?
Sky will let you know. Kind of looks a little puzzled that, well, he is in the newspaper, so I suppose the shock of it hasn't actually gotten to him yet. Like, really? Like, okay. Yeah, Lacey, was a very old performer who had a passion for passing on her talent to the younger generation. So the money that I'll be making is someone who believed in that dream of passing on knowledge, and they thought that I would be a good fit. And essentially, I have to do some charity work, but if all pans out, then yes, I receive money from this gentleman through this foundation. So I'm free to create and dance without actually having to get a 9 to 5.
All right. You're currently being patronaged so that you can continue your creative efforts, and that is a good thing. That is a good thing. It's good to see that the culture of the city is still being supported, even if public institutions aren't as ready to do so. Meh. The world is shit. That's my personal philosophy. The world is shit. Why is it shit? Because we believe that it is shit. It's just a reoccurring, reinforcing loop. The more that we think the world is shit, the more the world actually is shit, which lets the next generation that we go ahead and produce think there is nothing better because this is how it's always been. And that's not true. Well, it's sort of true. It's a self-fulfilling philosophy. It's one that I'm trying to break myself.
I think that that's definitely one way of looking at it, but it's kind of like looking at a glass and noticing if it's half full or empty. It's not really so much if it is half full or empty. It's how your opinion of the water changed once you started to judge it.
This is true.
Sometimes it's better just to let life take its course instead of doing an absolute do's and don'ts.
This is true. And I'm just going by what the article is currently telling me. She herself was a patron of the arts all and up until her unfortunate end last year.
Mhm.
I am a Shekavanti, former Uthanatoid, so I'm always very interested in how stories end, how one person's unfortunate death affects the environment that is around it. My former tradition,
Yeah.
the Uthanatoi, believed that death was a natural thing and it should occur more often to people who had already done the best that they could do for this world and whose future could only be a further decline into making this world worse and worse and worse.
I guess that's he looks, but I find that I don't know. I'm still forming my own opinions, but the more and more I look at this world that we're in, the more in love with it I am. Even the shitty parts.
You are much like my apprentice then, who sees wonder and creativity everywhere. She's a dreamer, and I think If you're an ecstatic, you two will get along fantastically.
It's
But
important to dream. If you don't have your dreams, what do you have?
reality.
It's cold, bleak, desolate. It's cold, bleak, and desolate. That's
Hi.
very depressing, Jericho.
Everybody has their own truth of reality to perpetuate and their own truth of reality to discover. No one path to ascension is to be found. Actually, you're new. Do you even know what ascension is?
No.
There's a giddy little smile over his face. Okay. Nobody can really tell you what ascension is or the state of ascension, but everybody has the drive to ascend, to go further in their knowledge, their awareness, their ability, and power. No two awakens ascension is the same. Some people will watch somebody go ahead and pretty much just plateau themselves for quite a while and say that they are stagnant. All the while, they are actually performing so many works, so many wonderful works around them that they don't ascend, they bring up everybody around them. There are some people who go ahead and fire straight up and lose themselves completely and utterly. I once knew a prisoner, actually, who broke through the realms of reality until he finally rocketed away from planet Earth. It was weird. And then there are some who actually look at this world and take a different route. Some say they're going down. Some say they're depressing themselves or becoming more morbid. That is still a valid route for that particular Magi's ascension. It may look different, but it's still valid. The important thing to understand is there is morbid, there is looking at reality as the glass half full, and there are those of us who simply go ahead and invert the glass 180 and just seek to cause utter destruction.
That's one way of looking at it, I guess. But I guess a thirst for knowledge is good. I suppose you should actually be able to temper that thirst.
To temper the thirst is to go ahead and starve a man. You can't do that. Better to direct a man. Direct a man where he will find the water you think is best for him.
I suppose it's the same way you take a pill to get better. You don't take all of the pills hoping to get better immediately. That's not smart.
How do you find your own path? Do you find it hard? Do you find it treacherous? How do you adapting to your new life?
I find it as the grandest adventure. I am the protagonist, and I want to see where this goes. Will there be co-stars? Who knows? But as it is right now, I'm intrigued.
Very well. Do venti and Now, tell me about this new production apparently you're going to put on. I'm actually curious. I might actually take in one of your shows. I apologize if I have not done so lately.
There is going to be a new production. Actually, I the way my particular company works is we all have to audition. Nobody's going to nobody's guaranteed the lead role because we're all extremely talented. So we all have to put ourselves through the ringer, and it's not a form of, well, fuck it. As he kind of shrugs, yes, it's treacherous. People try to blackmail each other to get that coveted spotlight. But yeah, it seems that we're going to be putting on a production of Swan Lake.
Very good. Now I gotta ask you this. Now that you are awake, you are seeing things, how are you defending yourself?
Defending myself. When I was in high school, I was very clumsy, and I started dancing to correct it. I wanted to. I wasn't really a good student per se, and I wanted something that was uniquely mine. So dancing came naturally. It was a way to express myself without actually having foot and mouth syndrome. I don't take authority well.
All right, you don't take authority well. What if somebody was trying to force you to make a decision? How do you handle that?
No, I'd probably handle it pretty terribly. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, fair enough. What I will tell you is that there are people and entities in this world that would seek to take that fantastic talent you have and bend it to their whims. One of the first things that you ought to be taught is how to set up your own defenses, own mental defenses, I should say. It involves just, yes, you can. The same way you perceived people's auras is sort of the same way you solidify your own mind. You just make sure that, here's the thing, you must remove external influences on your mind, and you must also conceal your own thoughts. Because there are beings in this world that will seek to turn your head which way or that. And they will also try to perceive into your mind to try to trick you out or figure out what your motives are before even you do, and then work against you.
I see.
As well.
But back to your previous question, I had a very old friend that has passed away. He taught me how to defend myself in a very physical way.
Thumbs up. That's good. Most often enough, people who come to you will use very, very physical means to do so. How do you defend yourself? Are you able to block attacks? And what would happen if you were faced with a gun?
Faced with a gun, my first instinct would not be to take the gun in my hand and try to wrestle it away. My first reaction would be to get out of the way. So, yeah, get out of the way.
Pretty much just duck, go for cover,
Duck,
leave.
hide. Yes, stop, drop, and roll usually works. Get out of the way. Into the chopper.
Boom, get out of the way. Okay, that's good. Getting out of the way of a gunfight that's not really your concern. Smart move. Leaving the area. Also a fantastic idea.
But
Okay.
if
Continue.
someone were to if a brawl to in a bar and somebody had a disagreement with me, I'm sure I could knock them out without trying.
Tell me, have you been in any recent fights and how did they go? see, I'm talking about the Brian incident, but I don't know about the Brian incident. I think that'd be a hilarious story.
Yeah, there was this one time. I was getting some Jewish food, some matzo ball soup, and expressed a concern to the management that I'm always on a strict diet, so I can't. So my food has to be prepared a certain way because it'll show in my performances. Well, that I also thought I was actually insulting him. Words were exchanged. I was asked to leave. We won't get into that. But when I got outside, someone walked up to me and started talking shit and something about vegans, and then he told me to fuck you and just really mouthy, and he was kept talking, and I got angry and I punched him in the throat.
Damn, how did he take it?
He tried to hit me. Didn't work out too well. Things got rather serious when somebody pulled out a gun, and that was my time to run.
Where was this? Because that doesn't seem like a really nice neighborhood to ever, loiter around in.
Actually, now that I remember, a very interesting young woman pulled out a gun and shot it into the ground. There was a crater, and no, I'm not about that life. So I left.
All right. Another way to defend yourself is actually simply identifying the people around you. You notice how you're able to perceive people's auras? Perceiving somebody's aura just before a fight, you'll notice that they get really, really tense, really, really aggressive. Even if they're not showing it externally, their aura will absolutely betray them. If they get hot under the collar and you're looking at their aura, you will know before everybody else, and you'll be able to simply leave or, pop them before they can pop you.
Fair enough. Okay.
Also, if you notice something strange in their aura, so
Say that again?
if you notice something strange in a thing's aura, that is also a time to leave or be really fucking careful.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Pale aura is bad news. Pale aura is one of the Walking Dead. If they're intelligent enough to hold a conversation with you, that means they're really powerful Walking Dead, and you need to be absolutely concerned with getting fucked up, physically or mentally.
You mean they are, what do you call these?
Say again?
Or vampires?
Yep. Fuck those guys.
Yep, to what?
They are indeed Walking Dead. They are indeed vampires. They indeed want your blood. I'm pretty damn sure. Fuck those guys.
Okay. Is there anything else that I would know about them? Ideas? Habits?
The thing about the daylight, it's true. They can't walk around during the day, so that's a blessing to you. There's a lot of other hokey nonsense that I don't know if it works or not. I haven't tried it because I have my own methods of dispensing of them, which involves turning them into fucking dust and laughing.
You sound dangerous. You'll have to teach me that trick one day.
Yeah, and Manhattan is basically where they're most concentrated, and it's one of the reasons I don't really walk around there too often. It's just no, no, no. Manhattan is full of absolute, the absolute worst things in this world are in Manhattan. I don't like it. I don't hang around there too much unless I really want to, or I'm just fucking curious.
Fair enough.
Besides that, another aura to look out for is the exact opposite of the pale one. It's the one that's absolutely bright and alive. That is an aura filled with vitality, and one you don't really want to be around if you're not on that particular entity's good side, because that entity is filled with power. It will go ahead and change its shape at a moment's notice and rip you apart if you insult it.
What is that?
Nobody and nothing you want to get involved with. Trust me.
That's not answering the question.
All right. Has anybody told you about Central Park?
Yes. Something about fuzzies?
Central Park is the home of a very, very tribalistic society of shape changers that you don't want to get involved with at all.
Shape changers? You mean like Jacob from Twilight? Shape changers?
You see Jericho go ahead and nod his head. Yeah.
Okay.
A weird thing with them, apparently because they're so fucking alive, they can actually transcend their own physical bodies and manifest in the spiritual worlds. It's really fucking freaky. So if you're walking around in the spiritual worlds and you notice this big 9-foot tall furry abomination that seems to be hacking and slashing a spider, don't talk to it unless you're on really friendly terms with it.
Okay. Makes sense.
Basically, all the advice I'm giving you is if you see something strange and you don't understand it, don't involve yourself. Go, run, leave.
I will be rolling a mind effect to remember this. Converting it to my... And it's successful.
Yay! You hear the words of Jericho as it is spoken by this blonde Adonis. Because he's still that buffed up, blonde-haired jackass.
Mm-hmm. He just shakes his head like, yep, won't be forgetting this.
Besides those defenses, you should probably think about how to prepare yourself in the first few hours of your day. Okay, this is what I want you to do. This is homework, okay? Can you do some homework for me, Sky?
Yeah, sure.
During the first hour of the day that you wake up, perform your own little morning rituals, and I want you to try to extend the duration of any one effect that you just did. I want to see that. I want you to see it extend away from you. Not just the moment to moment stuff. You've done the moment to moment stuff. I've seen that. I want to see if you can go ahead and perceive an entire day with one of your senses on. I want to see if you can actually analyze what you see and make your own interpretations of it.
One thing that Maggie was talking about, something about shields.
Mind shield. Yeah, do that. You need that. First thing in the world. Do that, please. I'm serious, guy. Your mind is your most important and valuable asset you will ever have.
So, like, how do you do that?
Sit down.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody's going to do it differently, but let me give you about 5 minutes. Okay? In 5
Okay.
minutes, just concentrate on the one effect that you want, which is the mental one, which is the mental defense. Solidify your mental defense so much that I cannot influence you. All right?
All right.
And what this will mechanically translate into just roll dice.
Okay. So what am I rolling?
Go ahead and multiply your arete by 3. That's how we're going to do this.
Okay.
So basically,
So 3
roll
dice.
3 dice. See what happens.
Okay. What the fuck? Sorry. Hit the wrong button. Sorry. Yep. Yeah. There you go.
All right, 2 successes. With 2 successes, you'll be able to extend the effect that you want for AC. I'm gonna guess you're gonna go ahead and throw that 1 success into effect, which is pretty much mental shielding.
Yeah.
All right, what Jericho's gonna go ahead and do. Let's see, what is the best way to describe it? Because I don't want to fear you. I'm gonna give you the very, very strong impression to simply leave, to flee. Not from fear, but just simply due to duty. How about that?
Okay.
Fast casting, which is going to go ahead and increase difficulty by 1. As you notice, Jericho's just going to go ahead and put his hand to his pocket and then just perform this really fucking obscure hand gesture right at you. Just right as you're done meditating, he's like, "Phew." All right. The imperative to simply leave, to simply run, goes ahead and flashes across your own persona as Jericho makes a very, very obscure hand gesture at you. But as he does so, you simply go ahead and sit. You go ahead and let the wave hit you, but you let it flow around you. It's like a bright spark, a bright flash, and the taste of platinum or metal right on your tongue. But you go ahead and are able to say, nope, I'm not doing that. Your palate goes ahead and becomes bland, becomes tasteless, becomes blank, and that bright flashing light goes ahead and dims just as quickly.
What the fuck was that? As he just looks up.
It works. You'll have to go ahead and make sure to keep that on. It's a very, very rudimentary shield, but it works.
Okay.
Let's see. Anything else I would like to teach you right now? I would teach you about enchantments. I would teach you about the primal element. I would teach you about counter magic. But your brain is already full with fantastic ideas that you need to go ahead and solidify.
Okay.
Any
Counter magic?
other?
Enchantments?
Yeah,
What's
it's
an
a thing.
enchantment?
Lessons for you to learn later. Enchantments are they're magic. They're like they're an effect. They're a very, very static effect. Counter magic is basically I don't want this to happen. I say no to your reality and replace it with my own.
How do you do the second one? The second one sounds empirically more important than the enchantment. Being able to say no to someone's bullshit sounds important.
Do. I believe that is one step further in your ascension. You're not able to say no to somebody in that way quite yet. There is a very, very weak shield that you can put up, much like the one that you did right now. But to actually truly unweave a magic that's being thrown at you, you have to take another seeking.
Gotcha. Same thing with enchantments, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, this was helpful. Is there anything I can do for you? Return the favor?
Anything that you can do for me to return the favor? Not at this moment, but I may call upon you at one point or another.
Yep. We can definitely do something. He'll nod.
Would you like to be escorted out?
I can find my way out. I'm good.
All right, there's the door. You, my good sir, have a good day, Mr. Sack. Mr. Sachs.
Sky will wave his hand. See you later.
Jericho's going to go ahead and take his lawn chair, drag it over to the side of the roof, get a cooler box, actually, and have a beer for himself.
Thanks.
Now you're going to ask if you want to stay?
He turns around and says, "Do you want me to stay?" I'm free today.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. I don't think you want to be skulking around the neighborhood at this time of night.
Fair enough. As he
Jericho goes ahead
around,
and gets a domestic and sets it on the little counter right between two lawn chairs. Oh.
Cool. Sky will go take a seat. And yeah, enjoy the ball game.
There is various few innings where people think that the home team might not make it. The home team has been trailing along for like 3 innings at least, not getting that one fucking hit. It seems like the home run at the beginning game really set the pace for the entire game. But as the 7th and 8th and 9th inning comes around, the home team goes ahead and makes a turn for the best. All of those pitchers that were sawn earlier have been retired. They brought in the worst people, and they are stringy as fucking hell. If this was a melody, Psych would go ahead and hear how terrible these people are. And we go ahead and end our scene there. Thank you, for watching. Thank you, players, for playing. We hope to see you all again next time.